That right there was our good friend Alex Plox doing the song from the new video game Monarch from our very own Rob the Mod. One-man band. One goddamn man making that video game and song in Alex's case. I'll tell you what, that Rob showed me some new footage of the game today. The rain-slick streets, some retro-looking smoke. It's looking pretty goddamn good. I want to let you know one more thing before we start the show. Andrew Morrison is out there in the world. He's wearing nothing but a French maid's dress. This is my fantasy, and lipstick. And he's pleasuring himself while he's watching Gabbin' Games. He's just signed up for the Diet Soda Soldiers. Andrew Morrison, you know I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your generosity in joining us. I also want to let you know that we got compliments of Mr. K. We got ourselves a brand new Christmas Phil Spencer emoticon down there if you want to bang on that if you're one of the members. Welcome to the Gabbin' Games. It's good to see everybody. I got to take it easy today, fellas, because I'm in a very hyper mood. Now, this is what happens to me. I don't know if this happens to you, but it happens to me. Where if I allow myself to get too hyper, I can't focus. You know, I go off the fucking rails. So I'm trying to learn through meditation to sort of focus in on the energy of the content, but it's very difficult because my brain wants to jump to many places. Bukaki Drive-By is here, one of our mods. Also, I was going to open the show with your song, Bukaki, but I couldn't fucking find it on the goddamn YouTubes. He says, gaming's biggest coward, Bobby Kotick, kind of vain to make a stream about yourself. Ha ha, you old knucklehead. He's saying that I'm that. Listen to me. We will absolutely talk about Bobby Kotick today, Activision's embattled CEO. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that if you're listening to this show even 4 hours after the fact, that there will be new news that we don't cover on this show, because news is coming out about the situation with Activision every hour, couple of hours. I'll let you know, I reached out to a pal of mine, actually two pals of mine over at, one's at Blizzard, one is at Activision proper, and I says, hey, can you come on the show? They said, well, that's difficult because I don't want to lose my fucking job. I says, I know that. Will you talk to me off the record? They said, yes. And so I have a couple of exclusive quotes for you guys about what it's like right now in the belly of the beast, which is Activision Blizzard right now. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later as well. I do want to begin the show talking a little bit, before we get into Bobby Kotick, I want to talk about G4. G4 launched yesterday. They relaunched on a number of television channels, and they also launched, they've been on YouTube for a while, but they literally have their television channel up and running now. And I don't know if it's parity with YouTube and their show. Like, are they just streaming on Twitch and YouTube exactly what's on TV? I don't know, because I have Hulu Live, and I haven't bothered to check if they have it on my... why would I care? It's, you know, it's not my cup of tea. Not G4, but watching, like, you know, cable TV anymore. It's all on the internet. But anyway, it's interesting to me. I don't know if you guys watch this. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. Well, you can find it. Just go to YouTube and Google G4. So G4 TV has had a channel on YouTube for a while, and they got Kevin Pierre back. They've got Sessler back. I don't know if they have anyone else back, but Sessler and Pierre have been doing kind of their shtick, which is great. It's you know, whether this channel takes off or not, it's good to see these guys back doing kind of what they do, and I hope that continues. And people have asked me, can you get them on the show? I haven't spoken to Adam. I have spoken to Kevin. Kevin said yes. So hopefully we'll have an interview with him down the line. But what's really fascinating to me about this is I'll click on it, but I'll keep the sound down. If you watch what they did yesterday, and it's on the screen right now, it's very weird because G4, if I'm getting my dates correct, was in its heyday, I guess 2002-ish to 2008 or something like that. Maybe but there's a lot of people today that, you know, are adults now, and they came up with this and they were like, this was a big deal for me. I love the show. I love Morgan Webb, and I love Adam and XPlay and all that stuff. But what it's really fascinating to me about this is I'll click on it, but I'll keep the sound down. If you watch what they did yesterday, and it's on the screen right now, it's very weird because G4, if I'm getting my dates correct, was in its heyday, I guess 2002-ish to 2008 or something like that. Maybe I'm getting but there's a lot of people today that, you know, are adults now, and they came up with this and they were like, But it's really interesting though, because now when they come back, there were two things. Like let me cut to the chase. Other than the stuff that Adam's been putting out on his own channel or on G4 that's just him, I felt this was weird. I did not think this was very good. I'm going to give you my review. This guy, I don't know who this guy is. He's terrible. Okay, that's just the goddamn truth. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It feels like, oh, look at that. I paused it. Sorry, lady. It feels like, when you look at Sessler and Morgan Webb and Kevin, Olivia Munn's a little bit different, obviously. Olivia Munn is, a very beautiful woman, and she always has been, I assume, at least when she was on G4. But there's a lot of people talking about her cred, like, oh, was she really a gamer? I'm pretty sure she's a hardcore geek. But regardless, they could talk the talk, and they didn't look like bro gamers and act like bro gamers. Now, again, if I'm running G4, maybe the demographics tell me I need to get me a bro gamer to headline this shit, and that's fine. But I thought this guy was absolutely hard to watch. Granted, I'm 50 years old. I'm not the audience. But I guarantee you somebody between 45 and 55 hired him, and they think this is what the audience wants. But it was weird seeing Sessler and Kevin, who are absolutely showing their age, and I don't mean that in a negative way at all. Look at the shit I do, right? I'm not saying you can't be wacky and stupid and over the top, but these guys have both really, if you look at what they've done post G4, they've kind of moved on to, Sessler's been in the business, and then he's got back into media, and his critique and his reviews and his progressive views are very out there in the world. And to see him back here being wacky, something feels a little off about that to me. And I'm glad at least he has X-Play back on the show where he can be more of himself. But the thing that struck me the most about this, and why I think this is not going to work for them, is that when they were ruling the roost, these guys were absolutely one of the few. YouTube was around, but it was like Smosh and these guys, right? There were other people doing it, but not at that level. That was just kind of wacky, geeky stuff. Now these guys are having to compete with YouTube, and frankly, if yesterday is any indication of what sort of their main show is, which is this launch spectacular, YouTube does it better. It just totally does it better. That's still enough to keep me from watching, says Zephyrx. Look, I don't know how it's going to do. What I can tell you, so Rob the Mod, who did watch more of it than I did yesterday, says as soon as the douchey guy left, the show got better. So you watched more of it. You agree the dude was a douchey guy. I don't know. Maybe he's like famous. Maybe if you're a young person, you're like, dude, that's the guy from that reality show. I don't know who he is. And I'm sure he's a fine human, but it seems weird that you would kind of kick off a show for a bunch of mostly geeks led by a guy who's probably was picking on geeks back in school. At least that's how he comes across to me. Let me show you this, though. So if you go... Okay, so Armin says, I love the cast, but I don't know if the content is necessarily an age where video game content is a dime a dozen. That is kind of what I'm thinking. But Armin, you're saying you do love the current cast of G4, like all these new people that they've brought out, which is great. Again, I'm not the core demographic, right? But if you look, I thought this was interesting. If you look at their, no, Olivia Munn's not involved in this. She may be involved on the show, on the channel in some form or fashion, but I don't believe she was there yesterday. But if you, oh my God, you watched all 5 hours, Rob? Oh my God. Okay, so then you feel, Rob the Mod, that this has a place to go, that you feel there's a home for this. In fact, look at this, Attack of the Show. So I'm not going to watch it right now because we're doing this show. But Kevin currently has his show. Let's just click on over there for a moment and see. This is what Xavier Woods, right? He's the guy, one of the wrestling guys. This is one of the new cast guys. So maybe Attack of the Show is going to work really great. Armin says they've made up of likable people, but that doesn't make for a good program. But Rob, you really liked it. Okay, well that's good. So maybe that launch spectacular was just really bad, and everything else is going to work. A lot of them are streamers, but that's different than TV, says Armin. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know who's gonna watch this. at a TV level. Does anybody even still fucking watch TV? Lord says, I'm happy to see Adam again. I am as well, but that's about it. When screensavers became attack of the show, it was done. Well, listen, I will also tell you, it is weird that there's no Morgan Webb. And I reached out to Morgan. I know her a little bit, not that well, but I reached out to her maybe, it's about 2 months now. And I looked everywhere. We're Facebook friends. She hasn't posted on Facebook in forever. We're Twitter pals. She hasn't posted there at all, right? Hey, there's Grape King. Nice. You know, there's like 3 or 4 places I can get in touch with Morgan. None of them she respond, and I didn't see her posting anywhere. So I was just a little confused, like why she probably just said no, but that sucks because she was such a great part of the show. Okay, but anyway, there you go. G4's back. I'm glad to hear Rob the Mod is saying that this is actually better. The proper moment-to-moment show is better than the launch, which was the pre-show. So that's good to know. I will give it a second chance because I take Rob the Mod's word and his critique relatively seriously, the old knucklehead. Matt DeMarco, you're right. Olivia Munn is in a new movie by Justine Bateman. It's called Violet, I think. It's supposed to be really, really good, and it's going to be out on streaming in a couple of weeks, I think. Captain Geach says, oh, of course, Captain Geach, a bot thingy pimping your podcast. Of course it is. Of course it is. You goddamn right. That's been there forever. There are so many people gaming podcasts prefer over stuff like this, myself included. This has become the mainstay of gaming news. That's true. That's true. Rathy says, did Olivia Munn treat Morgan Webb like shit? I know nothing about any of that. I've heard rumors of this, that, and the other about the entire show, the entire channel. But I know people like it ass, but I figure, you know, I don't know. I have no idea. That's not true. I have lots of ideas. I'm sad Morgan says Jamali isn't back, but happy she has enough going on. She didn't come back. Yeah, let me just tell you something. Morgan Webb is the real deal in terms of, I have met her about 4 times when I was working in the business. Every single time, one of the nicest people, just incredibly kind, considerate, sweet, a very, very cool person. I very much enjoyed her. As a personality and as a human. I never understand people that leave many tabs open. My OCD would not let me do what Caveman says. Caveman, who gives a shit about you? This is not the Caveman show. Unless you want to call in. Speaking of, anybody can call in at any time. I'll put you on the goddamn show. But yeah, Caveman, this is not tabs that are open. These are topics we're going to be talking about on today's show. And speaking about today's show, let's get into it. But there's G4. Do with it what you will. I'm glad to hear, like I said, that good Sir Rob the Mod thinks it's pretty good. Now let's get to the main stories of the day, which that's not true. The whole show is not about Bobby Kotick at all, but let us begin with the Bobby Kotick collapse. The fascinating thing is if you go to many gaming sites today, certainly Kotaku, he's everywhere because, like I said, stories about this are breaking left and right and center. What I will not do, because you don't need me to do it, and I am not a journalist, and I don't want to be a journalist, I'm not going to sit here and like break the news and tell you the news. I'll give you the high concept so we can talk about it and roll it around and kick it around and discuss it and debate it and all that stuff. But you know, there are better people out there. There are better articles out there to be able to tell you the nuance, but not the nuance, but the details of what the news is. But the high concept is we know Activision Blizzard has been, from the lawsuit back in the summer that one of the California agencies filed against them and said, hey, we've been investing in you guys for a couple of years. You've not been cooperative. We're gonna go to court. And there were some settlements and this, that, and the other, but ultimately it really opened up this multi-worms. There's only a can with one worm in it. A can of worms about all the kind of sexual harassment, toxicity, even suicide brought on by sexual harassment, most likely, that is happening at Activision and specifically under Bobby Kotick's eye, the eye of Kotick, right? And this has been building and building and building. And then yesterday, the Wall Street Journal came out with a report. One of the reporters was a guy named Ben Fritz, who, if you like reading about media and entertainment and where the future is going with technology and entertainment, he has a wonderful book he put out last year called The Big Picture, and it's phenomenal. It's all about streaming and Netflix and how the old guard is just being decimated by new technology and entertainment. It's great. But anyway, Ben Fritz is one of the guys who wrote this article, and it really, Activision knew it was coming, and they knew it was going to be bad. My understanding is they knew it was going to be so bad that they extended the employees' Thanksgiving holiday just to give people enough of a buffer to let this settle, because they knew this was going to be really problematic. There's so many things in this article. A lot of it, though, that is being centered primarily on Bobby Kotick, that says, hey, this is a guy who not only has a couple of assault or harassment allegations against him. He had a personal assistant that he... I don't even know if it's allegedly. I think on voicemail he told her he was going to kill her. And she was like, he since said, well, I wasn't being serious and blah, blah, blah. And he apologized. He regrets it. There was a woman on a private jet he owned that was suing the captain of the private jet for sexual harassment. And Kotick said, I'll destroy you. You know, basically, I guess, I'm assuming he was suggesting she drop the case. You know, Kotick himself is not clean. And then there's stories that there are people who actually raped women, were accused of sexual harassment at Activision, where he knew about it. He didn't tell the stockholders. He didn't tell the board of directors, about it. And he also allowed them to stay after he knew that they had raped people, that they had assaulted people. This is again, all this is alleged. This is reported in Wall Street Journal, but it seems pretty accurate, right? So the whole, you know, and this was already on top of a shit year these guys were having in the press. Well, then, remember we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where this woman, it was Mike Ybarra, who I know and like very much, was appointed to be the president of Blizzard, co-president, along with this lady here. I don't remember what her name is. What is her name? Jennifer O'Neill. And she released this crazy sort of report or press release saying, I believe in Activision, I believe in Blizzard, what we're doing here. I'm just kind of, it's, you know, and it was very strange. It's like, well, you just got promoted. Why would you leave? Why are you leaving right away? And it just felt weird. Nobody really believed it. Well, lo and behold, it was bullshit, right? So she's coming out now and saying, she's been tokenized, marginalized, and discriminated against. She's a gay woman. She's an Asian woman. Apparently, both of those things have been part of the discrimination in the toxic workplace. She was not given the same amount of money as Mike Ybarra to co-run Blizzard. So she was, I mean, again, that's not illegal. But, you know, she's also saying what the fuck, and people are saying what the fuck. So clearly, a woman who was put in place by Activision, by Bobby Kotick, to help fix the shitstorm that came to the world's attention in the summer, now turns out she's like, yeah, I can't stay here. This place is a shithole. So she's out, okay? And then, I'm telling you, this story is just insane to me because it's like it doesn't end. It doesn't end. So while the title of this stream is The World Gaming's Biggest Coward, it's true. This guy is a mess. I mean, he's a fucking mess. I'd be the guy. I can't imagine he's not in therapy already. And if he's not, he needs to get his fucking stupid ass in there. Then it turns out, after the summer happened, and everybody was like, "Oh no, Activision's evil. It's awful." There was a letter that came out at Activision for all the employees that you can read online that's like, oh, we value inclusivity and this isn't going to stand and people know what a great company we are and all this shit. And he attributed it to a woman that was running the kind of inclusion division or whatever at Activision. Well, it turns out she didn't write it. He wrote it and put her name on it. He's a constant liar. He is a constant fucking liar. And so when you reach out today, when the press reaches out today and they're getting like, here's what Activision, here's the official word from Activision, who gives a shit? And they're like going, we won't stand for this, and this is not our culture, and we're not accepting of this, and this is not an accurate portrayal. Fuck off, Activision. The best thing you can do at a PR level is just stop talking for a little bit. at a PR level, just stop talking for a little bit, because at this point, you've lost any goodwill that what you say means shit when you have the literal CEO of the goddamn company. One of the most, up until a couple of days ago, they were the biggest video game company in the world. Karma has stepped in and said, you don't get that anymore. That's Roblox now. But for a long time, they've been the biggest video game company in the world. They've stepped in and said no. But you don't get to have an opinion that we take seriously anymore, because your CEO is a fucking liar. And he's also a guy who is clearly a guy who harasses people. And he allows people to stay in heads of company positions that are rapists. So you know what? I don't know. Now, here's what's interesting. So last night and then again today, the board of directors, there's like 14, 15 of them, voted. And they said, we have confidence that, and Bobby's on the board, the big bad Bobby Kotick can take care of this and lead us out of this quagmire, and his leadership is great, and we're good. Bobby's not going anywhere, right? Apparently, then there were some shareholders. I told you I wasn't going to give you the news. I guess I'm giving you the news. There were some shareholders today, not many. There was apparently they account for less than 1% of the stock. Although there have been some bigger shareholders that had issues with Bobby's pay and bonuses for a while. I wonder if Bobby Kotick knew this was coming when he decided to not take a salary. Remember that a couple of weeks ago or months ago? This was the story. He's like, I'm going to take $1 salary or whatever until this gets worked out. It's like, you can't come back from this, Bobby K. You cannot come back from this, at least not in this role. But anyway, so they're like, hey, get rid of Bobby Kotick. There's hashtag fire Bobby Kotick. The board, again, today said, no, we're keeping the guy, right? But what's interesting, as of right now, Wednesday at 3 o'clock in California, it's not just me. If you look back at my channel, I've been making videos about what a shit human this guy is for a year. Whether it's China, not paying taxes at a corporate level, firing people and then collecting a bonus. I understand in America you're innocent until proven guilty, but I also understand the cliches for things like where there's smoke, there's fire. Those are true too. And this guy is just a checklist of shit behavior, right? Well, it's interesting. It's not just people like me. Now you've got actual sort of, grown-ups that, actually, know how to dress. Like Jim Ryan at Sony. It's the fucking head of PlayStation says, hey, what's going on over there, Bobby Kotick? Publicly, he sends an email out to the employees at Sony and says, this guy and what he's doing, we're not happy with the response. I need to know what's going on. They're not threatening anything. They're not going to cancel Call of Duty on PlayStation. Maybe they should. But that's pretty impressive. I've seen heads of departments at places like 2K Games saying the same thing. Bobby Kotick's got to go. You got Gene Park, a fucking journalist from the Washington Post, literally using the hashtag fire Bobby Kotick. This is no longer, just some annoyed YouTube people going, you guys see this? This is fucking big boys and big ladies going, this ain't gonna fucking fly, okay? So this shit is fucking crazy. But I want to show you, and then you've the walkouts. Walkouts are happening. They happened the other day. They happened again today with this. If you want to read the report, it's behind a paywall. It's on Wall Street Journal. You can find it online. I mean, obviously, I don't recommend that, but then again, I didn't read it through. I jumped the paywall. So, but it is pretty interesting. Here Blizzard's first woman co-head resigned. Dude, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Okay, so I want to tell you. So I spoke with. Let me get to the chat. And then I want to tell you, I spoke with a couple of people at Activision Blizzard before the show, and I want to tell you what they said. Before we do that, let me check and see what the chat has to say. Eddie T says, how big do you think Bobby Kotick's golden parachute is? Here's what I'll tell you. I obviously don't know. And by the way, fuck you, Delta Gamer, who clearly... likes his shit for free because he literally... I'm only bringing Dell up on the chat because he's saying something and he's a prick. He says, Jaffe is reading all these articles about Kotick, but still willing to play his games via free codes. Wow, what a great way to demonstrate your frustration. Well, let's be clear. I stopped buying Activision games about a year ago because of Bobby Kotick, and I said I wouldn't buy anymore until he was gone. And I do have a friend at Activision that gave me codes. And then about 3 weeks ago, I was talking about playing Vanguard, the campaign, and the guy says to me, well, I know you're not paying for it, but you are still promoting it by the nature of putting it on the stream. And I was like, you know what, that's a good point. And once I realized that, that is why I stopped taking codes, and that is why you haven't seen Call of Duty Vanguard campaign on this stream. So fuck off, Delta Gamer. But I don't know how big his parachute is, Eddie T. I would have to assume, and maybe this is wrong, that there's a, if you get kicked out of a CEO position because performance of the stock, or you don't fulfill your contract for various reasons that just show you as an incompetent CEO, you probably have a golden parachute. I don't know if the golden parachute extends. It probably does, but I wonder if it extends to you have been let go of because you're basically a shithead. Like, you knew about this environment and you didn't share it with the stockholders. That's an FEC violation. Apparently, they're being looked at by the FEC. You knew about this and you didn't share it with the board. I would be surprised if, just like actors have things in their contracts where, yeah, you can let an actor go, but they still get paid. But if suddenly, The Rock is proven to be a pedophile, I don't think he gets paid when he gets fired from all of his movies at that point. I don't think that's how it works, but I don't really know. Fupy says, oh, Jaffe, what a bitter pill to swallow to not showcase the latest generic Call of Duty rehash. What I will tell you is, I have always been a fan of the Call of Duty campaigns. So I was very much looking forward to the campaign. But if Sony canceled Call of Duty, says Wrath, servers on console would send Activision into a tailspin. Yeah, I mean, the fact that the board has come out twice in less than 24 hours and made it clear that we have confidence, that are saying, in this guy is absolutely insane to me. It's insane to me, right? It's like, read the room. Now, again, here's the last thing I'll tell you real quick, and then I want to talk about the Blizzard guys. Here's what's fascinating is that Call of Duty is apparently not doing well. I was watching Benji Sales, and I feel bad for Benji Sales because Benji, I don't know him that well. We follow each other. If you don't know Benji, he does like numerical analysis and sales data analysis of the industry. I'd love to have him on the show. He seems like a really good guy. And he was talking, and I wanted to tell you what he said, but it was just as an aside though. He was like going, he was doing a stream, and he's like, yeah, but today I'm really depressed. And I guess he fights with depression, which I know a lot of folks do. And I just felt so bad. I wanted to reach through the screen and give him a hug because he's like, somebody asked him, they said, well, how you doing today, Benji? And he says, I'm doing real bad today. Like, scale of 1 to 10, my depression's at a 10. I'm like, oh my God. I've had people in my family deal with just terrible depression in the past. And it is, all you want to do is hug them and just say, hang in there, man. I know, I can't say I know what it's like. I know what it's like a little bit. But if you take that and you imagine it amplified by 100, I can imagine what it's like. And it's just like, all I can tell you is from the outside looking in, it's not as bad as you feel. Just, I hope people who are suffering at that level of depression are aware, and I know they are. I don't want to, condescend to them, but I have to hope most of them are aware that it's an illness and it's not the way the world really is. It's like they're looking through a fucking filter, and it's like, that's not right. But anyway, the point is though, great, Jaffe, what is this show about? Listen to me. I have ADD and I have a pipe. Fuck you. Listen to me. Benji says, hey, look, man, Karma, well, I'm adding this little wrinkle. Karma may be very much coming to revisit these fuckers. They lost the biggest game company title. I told you about that. That went to Roblox earlier this week. And then the beginnings of the end of Call of Duty, probably not. Still going to be a huge game. But 40% drop in Europe so far of Call of Duty, including digital. So in Europe, they're saying 90% of the sales of Call of Duty Vanguard were digital. But even with the digital and the physical combined, they lost 40%. Now, some of that has to do with the competitive landscape of shooters right now. Some of that has to do with a lot of the hardcore don't love Sledgehammer games. Some of that has to do with World War II as a setting. I don't imagine most of it has to do with the fact that there are people like me and a bunch of you out there going, we're not going to buy this because Bobby Kotick. Most people don't give a fuck. But it would be nice to see. Because at this point, what's it going to take? Right? Somebody in the chat earlier was saying that, well, Kotick's just waiting for this to blow over. I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure what they're doing is going, fellas, Bobby, take a vacation for a month. This will never go away, but all it's going to take is flipping the switch a little bit with some big hit games. Gamers will forget. We'll settle out of court. Bobby Kotick has made this company, he has raised the company's stock or value from a $10 billion company. I think now they're at like a 70 or 80 or $90 billion company. I think that's correct. Since he's been there in a little over 10 years. I want to say those numbers. I might be off with my figures, but it's that level of impressive. The board is probably going, go take a vacation, chill. Yeah, you're a shit human. We're all shit humans. We're just making a bunch of money off these chuckleheads. Fuck it. Take a break. They're going to forget about it. That has to be what's happening. Because ultimately, people will probably, what else would it take? You literally have a CEO of a company. I'm not going to get all upset about it. The point is, let me just say it calmly. I'm not trying to be dramatic. But seriously, think about that. You have a CEO of a company that knew one of the heads of, it might have been Sledgehammer, I think it was a rapist. I think I'm understanding the story right. I don't want to paint this guy. I know I can guarantee you the news was brought to Bobby Kotick that this guy is being accused of rape. And Bobby Kotick said, I don't want to fire him. Now, whether or not he thought he was a rapist or not, that I don't know. And then it was found out, I think, that he was, or he was certainly accused of it a couple of times. That alone, if you're the board, is like, because otherwise, what are we saying? I guess what we're really saying is, you know what? All the stuff we say about being nice and good people, none of that really matters. It's all a smokescreen for being just greedy fucking whores. And that's okay. If that's what you are, that's what you are. And maybe that's clearly, I agree, that's what they're hoping for. Let me get this real quick. Where did that go? Hang on. Green Monkey, you old son of a bitch. I appreciate it, buddy. Green Monkey has just decided to change his or her life. Green Monkey says, I want to be a member of the Diet Soda Soldiers. Green Monkey, I appreciate it. I'm going to smoke some dope. I'm not giving you dope. I'm going to let you make out with Kratos for 5 seconds. Here you go. Green Monkey, I love you. I want to put my tongue in various crevices that you've got. In Europe, they would call that a crevasse. I love you, Green Monkey. Thank you, Green Monkey, for subscribing. I really appreciate it, buddy. Okay, so Brian East is saying, I most recently played World of Warcraft, the recent expansion. I ended up quitting due to being bored. But this was before the lawsuit. The lawsuit makes me want to actively avoid them now. Well, the lawsuit was in the summer. Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 are delayed indefinitely. Yes, that is absolutely true. I don't know, it's indefinitely. I mean, they're coming out, of course. I know people who are working on them, but they certainly were delayed. Okay, so I want to tell you something. In a minute, I'm going to tell you about these two people I spoke to. One is at Blizzard, one is at Activision. What I asked them, I says to these fine game developers, I says to them, what's it like being there right now, and why are you staying there right now? So I'm going to give you their response, but before I do want to turn you on to a little bit of, it's going to make your life better. And I've discovered something great about this. This is Spazbo's World of Long Plays. If you don't know Spazbo, he's a great gamer. He's part of our community, wonderful guy. He's also a God Award tier member, and as such, it allows him to let you know pretty much about whatever he wants, because that's the kind of man he is. Well, he is a member of World of Long Plays. They have over 1 million subscribers over at the YouTube, okay? Now, this is what's interesting. This channel's okay. This is okay. I've changed my ways. Look at your, I'm putting this in the chat right now. You can go on over there if you want. And what's cool about this is they don't talk. There's no commentary. It's just full gameplay. It's great for research, great for background, great for figuring out how to, solve things where you get stuck. But what I didn't know, like Spaz's most recent thing went up last night. They have an archive, and this is the real fucking, mother load. This is where, look at all they have from the Wii U, PSP, Dreamcast, PlayStation, PS3, PS4, on and on and on and on. So last night, Spaz's long play went up for Kenna Bridge of Spirits. You can find that right here. But yeah, if you go to the playlist, I mean, look at this. It's amazing. I didn't even realize they had the archive. Before I was just like, okay, there's a lot of cool stuff here. You can go to the fucking 32X. You can go to the fucking 32X and check out all this stuff. The full game of Primal Rage, Night Trap, Space Harrier, WrestleMania. Come on, man. So this is worth your time. It is World of Long Plays and the World of Long Plays archive. I am going to put the archive up for you right now because I think that's the one you're going to want. That's the sexy right there, baby. There you go. Okay, that's Spazbo's World. It's not Spazbo's World of Long Plays, but he works there, and he's a big contributor. Okay, I want to talk to you about what these folks at Blizzard said to me. Wait, oh shit. Spazbo says, okay, sorry, Spazbo. Spazbo says long play archive is not the same. It's a completely separate channel, but yes, I do long plays for them too. Okay, well, that one's great too. I don't know anymore. All I can tell you, Spazbo, is the long play archive is really fucking awesome. Really fucking awesome. Okay, well, there you go. Go to both of them. But if you want to see Kenna fully played, Spaz doesn't defeat the bosses as well as I do in Kenna. I'm really good at the bosses in that game, but you should check that out. Okay. No, yeah, Brian E says nice. So if I need a recap on a game series, I can go here. Yeah, it's like I said, I have it on in the background when I'm designing and working on the show because it's just it's like it's very comforting to hear gameplay happening in the background. So, Green Monkey says, why would a board or stockholders fire him unless he becomes decremental? Is that the right word? Decremental? I know what you're saying. Is that the right verb? It doesn't matter. Decremental to the value of Activision. A few deaths or predatory behavior is usually tolerated for a billion-dollar franchise. You're not wrong about that. I think ultimately the question becomes, there's two questions. Question number one is it going to hit their bottom line because the PR is so bad? My guess, I mean, you have to look at things like Disney, right? A lot of times you look at Disney and go, you know, Disney fired Roseanne, which was the number one sitcom in America, because she had made some jokes and whatnot, and she was on some drug, like some I don't know what it was, but it was a drug that kind of made her loopy, and she said some shit, and they fired her. And one could say, well, yeah, it's not that they didn't like Roseanne; it was a PR issue. But this is a PR issue too. Maybe. You know, the people who do this kind of crisis management can look at Disney and go, if you guys have a problem with PR, this is how it's going to hurt you. And that would have hurt them. Whereas I think you're right. I think basically Bobby Kotick can just be like, who gives a shit? I mean, yeah, Call of Duty's not doing well, but, you know, on the whole, I'm fucking awesome at this job. And unless I'm going to jail, back the fuck up. And they'd probably say, like, how far back would you like us to back up, Mr. Kotick, fuckhead. So I think you're right about that. The only thing that we can hope is that, you know, kinder heads prevail, and there are people out there that just say, I don't want to be involved as a shareholder in this company. I don't want to be involved as a consumer in this company. Or even better, yeah, it's not hitting the bottom line, but this is just wrong. But I've never fucking seen that, but let's hope so. Grave Doll has been a member for 5 months. I appreciate it, buddy. He says, we can jam 28 people into one Halo custom game. The only question is when. I'll do it with you guys tonight. I fucking told you, Grave Doll, motherfucker. I'm playing that Halo on the goddamn mouse and keyboard. I'm a fucking badass. Well, not really, but I'm much better. So I spoke to some folks over at Blizzard Activision. Spoke to one guy, and this is a guy who's over at Blizzard. This is what I asked him point blank. It's all off the record, though, so trust me or not, but you know I don't lie. With yesterday's Wall Street report, this is what I sent him over Twitter, DM. What is it like on the ground among the devs these days? Are you guys happy that more info on the culture and Kotick specifically is coming to light? He says, it's definitely bittersweet. On one hand, we're bummed that the hits keep coming. It's demoralizing to say the least. And the news about Jen, that's the woman who was put in place with Mike Ibarra, who left within 3 weeks saying this place is a shitstorm. I'm paraphrasing. He says, and the news about Jen's reasons for leaving are especially disheartening. You have to ask yourself, if someone at the top doesn't have faith in change, how can the rest of us? This is somebody working right now at Blizzard. Think about what he just said. It's absolutely true. If someone at the top doesn't have faith in the change at the company, how can the rest of us? And on the other hand, though, he says it is a good thing that there's a spotlight on this shit, because that's the only way anything changes. Okay, so I thought that was a pretty interesting comment, especially about if you don't have faith. I mean, it's really true. It's kind of like Captain Picard going, well, I'm going to abandon ship. I want to spend time with my family, but trust me, the Enterprise is fine. Data will take care of it. And you're fucking working on the Enterprise, you're going to be like, okay, I guess, right? Come on. And this woman, it wasn't like she even built up the camaraderie that Picard had with the crew. She was there for 3 fucking weeks. Ask somebody else. This is somebody at Blizzard proper that I reached out to her. I says, it seems from the outside looking in that the culture is rotten to the floorboards. If that's accurate, I says, why are people fighting for change, like walking out and all this, versus just leaving to another developer that treats them respectfully? I said, I get it. Not everyone can just quit right away, but would you say most of your colleagues there are seriously thinking about leaving? And she said, there's definitely sentiment of fleeing a burning barn. We have had attrition, and I imagine, but I have no data to back this up, that we have increased attrition due to the stuff that's happening today. So there is indeed a bit of that. Reality rears its head, though. As you say, not everyone has the luxury of jumping ship due to the need for a paying job. A note about the rot running deep. Considering my perspective... Oh, actually, no, I got it flipped. This is the guy. The girl was at Blizzard. Considering my male perspective, it's a hard spot for me. I have women colleagues who were aware of some of this stuff going down. But generally speaking, they spoke of the issues as problems from back in the day. Hearing about how issues like this are still around is troubling. But it does feel like things are better today than they were 5 years ago, and better still than they were 10 years ago. Like a lot of our social issues society-wide, things are getting better. They just ain't where they should be yet. We're still on the journey. So, there you go. That's direct from 2 Activision Blizzard employees. But yeah, man, I don't know. I imagine if you're getting offers, let's put it this way. I know a lot of developers watch this. If you're looking right now, to hire people for your team, I'm sure this is obvious to you. Make some phone calls to the Blizzard Activision folks over there, because I guarantee you all it takes is a good offer, or even a good enough offer, and they're out of there. Because who would want to work for this shitstorm if you didn't have to? If you're not outraged, says RPG, that most companies bend the knee to China, why the fuck should I care about allegation of whatever the fuck happened 20 years ago? Well, again, RPG, first off, I am outraged. I've made videos about China. I've made videos about Activision in China specifically. And I would agree with you. If you're not outraged by that, and you're not, a communist, or you're not in favor of dictatorship, then I think, yeah, you're not wrong. But this is not 20 years ago. The woman whose picture of her vagina was snapped and then shared around a corporate Christmas party, and then she killed herself because of it, or in part because of it, that was not 20 years ago. This stuff's still happening. Think about that. Think about that. It's horrible. Okay. Bukaki says, Jaffe said, if Psychonauts isn't released during E3, I will stop drinking Diet Coke for a month. Look at that, bitch. Diet Pepsi. Back the fuck up, bitch. Yes. Did you guys hear what I said? I said, back the fuck up, bitch. And I was like, that was awesome. Let me get this super chat. Thank you, buddy. Sephiroth says, how can we get into Halo with you? Basically, if we do play Halo tonight, which I would like to very much, we always do members come in first. So if you're a member at any level, you get first seat at the table. And then after that, we'll let anybody in who wants to get in if we have slots available. Given that tonight we are doing, we're going to try to fill a game with 28 people, we probably will have space. Rob says, I'm confused about the whole China thing. Don't we also get meds from them? I don't know. I mean, yes, we get a lot of things from China, but I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. Lord Garth says, some of our Chinese DBAs defend the homeland's behavior like robots. Definitely indoctrination. That's true. I don't think there are many companies that will match the Activision paycheck for people to move on. Green Monkey, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know what they get paid, but historically speaking, if I remember correctly, Activision was not what people talked about when they talked about that's where to go when you really want to get the big bucks, right? But here you go. If you want to see a little bit of justice, it ain't much, but it's a little bit. Although my ad blockers block, it's really weird, but Roblox overtakes Activision Blizzard as most valuable gaming company. So at least there's a little bit there. There's a little bit here. UK Call of Duty launch sales 40% down year on year. So maybe Kotick's getting a little bit of, a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. That's not true because it's not like, haha, back at you, woman who killed herself, 40%, but yeah, it's tragic. Yeah, Brian E. says, I heard that Blizzard underpays. I'll reach out and ask. In fact, if either of those two people are watching the show right now, hit me a DM and let me know if you guys get paid the normal rate, a lot higher, a lot less. I mean, if you want to, obviously, of course. Grave Doll says starting minimal salary at Activision is about $60K. Well, it depends on what the job is, though, wouldn't it? Sephiroth, thank you so much for joining the Diet Soda Soldiers. I have a feeling we're going to see good Sir Sephiroth in our Call of Duty game tonight. Good to have you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm going to smoke some dope, and I'm going to put some love in it. Now, you can smoke the dope and blow the love back out to me. Oh, my goodness gracious. Sephiroth, we're going to be best friends, baby. Sephiroth, thank you so much. Andre, I'm a Bill A. I'm just going to call you Andre if that's okay. Says, I'm joining the Diet Soda Soldiers too. I want to play Halo with you sons of bitches. I appreciate that, buddy. You're so special to me, Andre, that you're going to get dope too, but you're going to get it in the form of edibles. I'm going to give you this gummy. No one else take this. That's for Andre. That's for you. Oh, Andre, take that down. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you so much, both you guys. Welcome, new members. Give everybody a Phil Spencer emote. I would appreciate it for the new members. Thank you, fellas. Yeah, Call of Duty game tonight for sure. Rob the Mod says, I was curious if the Chinese government is behind medication. Should we start using meds made in the U.S.? I mean, that's interesting. It probably, I wouldn't put it past China, given they have very few limits on scientific research over there. I mean, they'll do, a lot of American scientists have gone over to China to do weird fucking experiments because they're not ethical according to America. So there's literally a head transplant somebody was trying to do in China. So would it surprise me if you get medicine from China and they're like, hey, can you put some stuff in the pills that makes people a little less aggressive towards new ideas and whatnot? I don't fucking know, man. The gummies, the gummy edibles will help you sleep if you get the kind that are, I don't know. It's the strain that chills. This is the strain that chills for me. I think it's Indica is what it's called. There you go. Thank you, Darth, Matt, and Eddie in Mutant Mo. Okay. I've seen reports of counterfeit medicine coming from China. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I'm not prepared to talk about that because I honestly just do not know, fellas. But let me tell you one other thing about this, and we're going to get off this topic. In fact, we're already off Activision, but what I'm about to talk about briefly is going to be something that, look, I don't know. I've tried to research this. I don't understand. I don't have a thesis yet. But there's something fascinating to me about this. You may have seen this news story, Beyond Good and Evil 2. That game is suffering. It's a couple of days ago this came out. Beyond Good and Evil 2, according to Tom Henderson, who's a journalist who breaks a lot of these, stories. That game is suffering, he says, a development crisis from lack of creative direction since the title went to development, which was worsened by Michael Ansel, who was also kicked out of Ubisoft for toxic behavior. His departure from the studio in September 2020, okay? And this is interesting. Somebody on NeoGAF, Lecture Master, wrote this, but it's a really good point. They say And anyway, the people are saying who are working on the game, their shirt's going to be canceled, is what they're saying. Skull and Bones, Splinter Cell, Prince of Persia Remastered, and now Beyond Good and Evil 2. It seems to me that any games that Ubisoft can't force their open world formula into just become a development struggling. Tom wrote an update. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development. It's still several years away, said one developer that reached out after the tweets. So there are people who think it's going to be canceled and people, or at least this one guy who's like, it's still in development. But we know it hasn't been canceled yet, okay? But what's interesting to me about this is Ubisoft is also the other company this summer that has been slammed with allegations of sexual harassment, horrible bosses, toxic work environments, and just like Activision, a lot of people, unions are saying this, employees are saying this, the press did a report on this. All the shit that Yves Guillemot has said he would do to improve his company, apparently they're not doing shit. And it makes me wonder a couple of things, right? It makes me wonder two things. One is a lot of the people I've worked with in the industry over the years, and I'm not going to name them or I'm not going to name their job titles, but there are people that are kind of, they work with these people. They work with Kotick. They work with Guillemot. I mean, they're big fucking players, right? I don't mean like Jim Ryan, but they're not like, they don't do the same job, but they do jobs that supplement the CEO jobs. I wonder if they're calling them today going, we're done. Like, where's the point where, a voice director or a big actor who is going to do a game with Activision or a big shot agent that works with these guys, where's the point where they say, yeah, we're not doing business with you anymore because it's bad for us, right? I mean, they can layer it with the idea of we're being moral, but in truth, they just don't want it to hit their PR either. But the other thing that makes me, this is what I don't have my head around yet. I don't have it entirely figured out. Who is this? Oh, okay. And I know that this is probably wrong, but there's something fascinating about the fact that so many of these people, like, if you guys have to remember, you guys have to think back. No, Rob the Mod, Beyond Good and Evil is not canceled at all. It's still going. Beyond Good and Evil 2. Think back, like my friend at Activision or Blizzard, he was at Activision, was saying 5 years ago it was worse, 10 years ago it was even worse. Think back. There was a point where Blizzard was, I mean, you couldn't fathom a bigger, better company than Blizzard. It was the beacon in the night sky. It was the shining city on the hill of video game development. It was where most game developers wanted to be, right? It was Brigadoon. Look it up. But this shit was going on there. Ubisoft, for a very long time, before they kind of got into this kind of grinder method of let's just put everything through the same formula, they were the most creative third-party games publisher working. And I just wonder, it's a cliche, but if you do look at talent and bad behavior, right? I mean, I don't know if it goes hand in hand. I don't know. There's something weird about that. It's like, is it going to happen that as you start removing all the toxic people, you end up with a pleasant place to work, but maybe what you put out is kind of crap? I mean, maybe the very nature of being driven and being blisteringly creative is because you're such a miserable, awful piece of shit that you channel all of your demons into your work and into the way you treat people at work. And it's horrible. I mean, look at Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs spent his whole life apparently feeling like he wasn't worthy because his original birth parents gave him up, right? Steve Jobs felt that way, right? I wonder, and I'm not saying it's worth it. I'm not saying, oh, fuck it. Well, if we're going to lose creativity, give us toxic people. One could argue that we need creativity so bad because we live in a world full of toxic people and we need an escape from it. But I bring it up to discuss. I bring it up to get what you think because I don't have a answer. I can't point you to a scientific study and say, 80% of the time, the most creative products like Michael Jackson go on to prove that they're fucking creeps. But the very nature of being a fucking creep is what allows them to be so good. All I have is Activision's bleeding people that are crap. And Ubisoft has been at least trying to get rid of some people that are crap. And both companies are kind of in a creative doldrum at the moment. And I'm wondering how related these things are, right? Legend says creative people have a superiority complex. Could be. Ubisoft is underrated in the topic of worst publisher on the planet, says Eddie. All the trailers are false advertising and everything is copy-paste trash. I think most people are catching on to that now. Fuck you, Salvador. Fuck you, Salvador, you piece of shit. Salvador says, David Jaffe, since Jaffe left Sony, all got better. You can go fuck yourself, you piece of shit. David K, welcome to Diet Soda Soldiers, sir. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your generosity. Thank you very much. Very kind, very courteous. Have some dope and have some Diet Pepsi, my good friend. David K has arrived, fellas. Maybe he'll be playing the Halo with us tonight. Salvador, Jesus Christ, Salvador says Bobby Kotick is the Miyamoto of Activision. In so many ways, that is not true. RPG says toxicity is good for entertainment, though. It may be. Diego says, I don't know, maybe you can apply that to Michael Ansel. To be fair, he wasn't kicked. Well, okay. He wasn't kicked, but he left because he was kind of an asshole. Not the same that the Activision guy had tons of misconduct sexually. No, I agree. But again, what I said was people at Activision and Ubisoft, it's either sexual harassment or toxicity or toxic work environment. Yes, Ansel was probably going to be fired, but he left on his own because people were saying he was a fucking nightmare to work with. Some creative people, trust me, I feel like most of you are 10 times better than men. Rob, I think, is high. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to bring in Northy Tunes. He's waiting to talk. Hang on, Northy Tunes. I'll bring you on right now, buddy. Northy Tunes, it's Jaffe. What is happening in this industry that we love so much? Why are all the shit people rising to the surface?
Well, personally, as somebody who's worked in video games for about past 10 years, I kind of feel like there's a thing called auteur theory.
Yes.
Yeah, where I feel like that is a thing where you kind of hype up a person and a particular individual as being, the auteur, the visionary, the maker of dreams, and then they're not really enough checks and balances with the kind of behavior that can encourage, and then they kind of go a little bit apeshit.
Do you think that's, though, because creativity and not just creativity, but making creative products that are meant to be commercial, when something hits, it's so risky and so expensive that you don't really know why it hits, right? I mean, like I've said many times, the games I've worked on that have been hits, I gave the same energy and passion to as the ones that were flops. And there were no one who funded those projects felt that they were going to be flops when they greenlit them. So do you think some of it's the auteur theory, like if you ascribe it to something magical, is bullshit, but at the same time, though, it's hard to deny the pull because you're like, maybe that guy knows what's going on.
Well, then that's sort of an issue with, say, for example, like the PR, where they sort of uplift these people to like enthusiastic press and things like that about an individual designer, and I remember things like having like Ken Levine on talking about BioShock Infinite or Dennis Dyack.
Oh, right.
If you remember him.
I remember Dyack, yeah.
Yeah, and then you sort of release these people out, and everyone sort of it builds up the hype. But then BioShock Infinite comes out, and then there's a bunch of layoffs. You have Dennis Dyack going out there saying how great. Was it Too Human? I think
Too Human on Xbox 360.
Yeah, and then that sort of turned out to be a bit of a turkey, and also one little thing you were sort of saying about. You kind of need these arseholes to get things done, but as somebody who's worked for games companies, if you have an arsehole in charge, all that does is create stress and anxiety. You're not actually being creative,
I do know what you mean. I mean, I have been very fortunate, and most of the people I've gotten to work with as producers are really great producers, but they're also kind people. So, but I all that said, I agree with you. But all that said, though, I struggle with the, here's what I would say, though. As true as all that is, I think there is some truth buried in the idea of, it's not that you have to be miserable to be creative, but if you were totally happy and satisfied and quote normal, you probably wouldn't feel the urge to create. I don't know if that's true, but that's my experience with creativity. Like when I don't do creative work. I mean, my work now is still creative, but I don't feel the need anymore to express my vision or my ideas or all that. But that used to be so important to me. And now I feel like I'm psychologically much healthier than I was when I was in my 20s and 30s. And now I'm just like, I'm good. I don't need to do that anymore. I mean, don't you think there is some truth to that?
Well, yeah. I mean, admittedly, I'm somebody who isn't necessarily the happiest camper in the world. And I do sort of find a lot of creative validation through doing artwork for video games and worlds. But that doesn't necessarily... Like, say, for example... If I'm in a company and I'm doing good work, but I fuck up in some way, they have every right to send me over to the office and tell me where I'm fucking up, rather than sort of letting it go because I'm such a creative artor, you know. Oh, you're a damaged person, but you have such art and passion.
I absolutely get the cliche, and I think the cliche is infuriating, but I agree with that. But I just wonder, though, ultimately, if like some of the people in the chat are saying, you know, ultimately it's about money, that if Ken Levine, I mean, I've never worked with Ken Levine, but he seems like a wonderfully nice, decent guy, but I've never worked with the guy. But if Ken Levine is hard to work with, but he can deliver the goods, I mean, hell, you've got Bobby Kotick, who's still employed, and the board twice in less than 24 hours have said, we're voting, we want you to stay, because he makes him that much money. I have a hard time believing if the news came out that Cory Barlog was an asshole, which he's not, if the news came out that he was an asshole, that Sony would say, yep, nope, you're out. Right? Because, I mean, ultimately it is a business, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're hired because you're useful, not because you're a likable person, you know?
Right.
And that's sort of the sad truth of, like, capitalism and things like that, but...
It's probably another reason we need unions in games. We won't get them, but we need them.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I remember when I worked in Germany and the company I worked for stopped the German equivalent of a union called a workers' council. And then the company sort of, after a bunch of bad press over their underhanded tactic they pulled, they did a vote, finally let a vote for a workers' council, and then everyone voted against the idea and came up and went with what the company's alternative would have been. But then they did mass layoffs anyway, and hundreds of people were let go. And a lot of those people were the people who voted against having a workers' council.
Oh man!
So
It's like I've said many times. If you want to make games these days, stay the fuck away from AAA. Go make your own shit. That's the only way you're going to be happy. All right, Northy Tunes, thanks for calling, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too, man. Thanks, Northy. Okay, Corey took time to talk about my small tweet and help my game out. Of course he did, Rob. Corey is a good human being. He's good people, absolutely. Hang on a second. Where did that go? I didn't want to miss that one, but I think I did. Oh, well, sorry about that. Okay, let us now switch gears. I want to talk very, very briefly about this. Some of you guys were watching yesterday. It is award season. Keeley's kicking it off with Keeley's, a.k.a. the Game Awards, the stupidest name for an award in the world. It's like the Game Awards. I mean, I guess it is exactly what it is. So I only wanted to talk about this briefly. If you can watch the stream yesterday, but I just, what has been kind of heartening about watching the response to this is there have been a lot more people this year on social media pushing back, saying, a lot of these categories aren't really working for me anymore. Like, a lot of these nominations are not really working for me anymore. And I'm just saying it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that people are going for example, Game of the Year. Returnal is not up here, but Ratchet is up here. Returnal is not up here, but Metroid or RE8 is up here. I get Deathloop, they get It Takes Two, they get Psychonauts, but there is, I've literally seen people that work at video game companies at a high level tweeting, going like, yeah, this is just it's a marketing show now. Just don't even call it an award show. Just call it what it is, which is a marketing show. And I do think that's when the show is at its best. I think the show is at its best when it's giving premieres and stuff like that. I mean, every year they have less and less awards broadcast anyway. And I know Keeley talks about, whenever he's interviewed, he talks about, well, I want to celebrate this medium that I love so much, and I want to give kudos, and I want to give the spotlight to people who make this entertainment that we all love so much. But if that were true, you wouldn't see a year-on-year removal of broadcasting these categories. I mean, if you look at the categories, I think there's more than they've ever had. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. It's like 28. No, it's like 26, 27 categories. What you'll probably see broadcast, and it's not like it's on TV where they have limited time. It's the goddamn internet. What you'll see broadcast on a fucking internet stream is probably like 7 of them. And everything else will be like, these are pre-show, and this will be on the website. And it's like, so why don't you just get rid of the awards portion and just make it a celebration of the year in gaming and show all the new games that are coming out. And also, let's be clear, most people haven't played all these fucking things. I guarantee you, I've said this before, when I was on the committee nominating games for DICE, I didn't play all the games I nominated. I was just going along with the pack sometimes, because people are like, I didn't play that, Jaffe, was that good? I'm like, yeah, I like that. What about that? They're like, oh, I like that. Okay, let's put that up there. That is how just bullshit this whole thing is, right? One moment, I have just had a very famous individual walk into my office. One moment. Hang on. Text me when you're there, please. Rathy says this year was shit in terms of categories. No, or in terms of games. I don't think so. I think there were wonderful games this year. I don't think, but that's another problem. There are all these big fucking games, and it's like there were so many indie games that were like amazing this year, and you barely see any of them on here. It's just the show is not ridiculous. The value of the show as a business endeavor is not ridiculous. But the voting is nonsense. And then when you throw in the fact that it's like, oh, hey, I mean, think about how stupid this is. It's like, what is the point? I guess that becomes the question. It's like, let's forget the emotional part of it, and let's really look at it like a designer. Like, what feature do you want in the Game Awards? Well, if you really drill down and look at it, the Game Award definitions make no sense. If you really stop and you know about making video games, you're like, some of them make sense, but a lot of them don't. There's no proof that you have to have played all these games. There's no indication that even games that people haven't played are at least looked at as a possible, entrant that could be considered. But on top of it, if you're really taking this seriously, why are you letting fans vote? I know that the fan vote only accounts for like X%, but if you really are serious about what Game of the Year is, why would you open the door? I mean, maybe what you do is you have a fan vote, and then you have, the vote from the journalist or whatever, but the fact that the fans can, create a campaign to either, it's like Bodie McBoatface. It's like, hey, let's make this shit game of the year, or let's make this game that we're really passionate about Game of the Year, but it's not really the Game of the Year. We just happen to be hardcore fanboys. It's just kind of dumb. It's just kind of dumb. Inscription and Death's Door are not as shiny as Ratchet. Well, Death's Door is nominated, but it's not nominated, Captain Geach, for Game of the Year. But Inscription's not up there. Dwarf Romantic's not up there. Severed Steel is not up there. Unpacking is not up there. There's a lot of great indie games that are not even represented at all. It's a little fucking weird. But I wouldn't mind if they said, hey, look, the fans can vote, but it's a separate vote. But anyway, it's dumb. It's totally fucking dumb. Not the show, but they should remove that. By the way, if you are curious, I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Kotaku, to their credit, right now has an article of the best games of 2001, and they do include a lot of the games that these nominees are missing. I mean, even if you look at Unsighted is one of the best fucking games to come along in a very long time. I haven't played Hitman 3. People say that about that as well. Yeah, Unsighted, I can't recommend this game enough. It is absolutely phenomenal, right? So I'm just saying it's a little bullshit. It's a little fucking weird. Okay. Returnal not being on Game of the Year is baffling, says Andre. Matt says Scorsese didn't win an Oscar until The Departed. Well, I mean, the Oscars are the same thing. It's all dumb. I mean, when you really break it down, going, what is the game? What is the creative product of the year? It's dumb. The only thing that's even kind of interesting about it is there literally right now on NeoGAF is a thread where someone said, hey, let's pick the best game of the year from 1995. We've talked about this before, where if you really let some time pass, two interesting things happen, right? So I'll just show you this NeoGAF thread real quick if I can find it. Two interesting things happen. The first thing that happens is you're able to get rid of all of the emotional parts of voting or the political parts of voting, and you're actually voting based on how the game does it really stand the test of time, right? What is it? 1995? Let me see. Let me find it real quick. Give me a second, fellas. I bet it's on the next page. So that's what happens. The first thing that happens is you can vote sort of without the problems of politics and where's the fucking thing? The other thing that happens though is you very quickly begin to realize 1985. It's 85. Hang on, my bad. You very quickly begin to realize that how stupid the whole conversation is anyway. Because when I show you the list of games that this guy has pulled out of the poll for Game of the Year, all of these are worth praise and remembering for the most part fondly. He has Super Mario Brothers, Gauntlet, Ghost and Goblins. This was all 85. Russian Attack. That's probably, I love that, but that was probably the least important one. Ultima 4, King's Quest 2, Sega Hang On, the arcade, yes, but not, Gradius, the Oregon Trail, Ice Climber, But I mean, seriously, when you really step back and look at these, how ludicrous is it to say Oregon Trail is better or worse than Ultima, or better or worse than Ghosts and Goblins, Mario, or Gauntlet? It's stupid. It just shines a light on how stupid the whole fucking thing is. That what it should be, not Game of the Year, says Legends, but Games of the Year. Yes, I agree. Humans' infatuation with everything has to be one best thing, not many best things. It's absolutely. Does it make for good TV? Sure. And it doesn't really matter in games. It doesn't really affect sales like it does in other industries. But it is interesting that you would think, and maybe that's why people are finally starting to push back in games. Games tend to be ahead of the curve of other consumer media, or gamers tend to be ahead of the curve compared to like the average television watcher or whatever, in terms of just sort of being a little bit more progressive, not politically, but about technology and the zeitgeist and things like that. Maybe it is starting to become clear that for a lot of people that this is just kind of a relic of the past, and there's a better way to celebrate the industry. Cooper says, I'm not sure all games should stand the test of time. I get it, but some are products of their time. Sure. That I agree, but are you but even that, Cooper, then that should be in the definition. If you're saying the game of the year is defined as a game that best represents this year or something like that, sure. But I can tell you, when I was on the nominating committee and I was on the voting committee for these things, we would have debates on the phone about what does this mean? And somebody's like, oh, I think best director means this. And I was like, I don't know. I've directed games. I think it means this. People were voting for totally different reasons in the same fucking category. So I don't know. Eddie says it would be cool if they didn't have nominees and they just awarded games like the top 3 games. I agree. I absolutely agree. Here are the 10 games of the year that we feel made the most impact on the industry. And here are the top 3 fan games. And here are the best selling games. And here are the games that got played the most. I mean, I would totally be into that show. Absolutely. Okay. I want to talk briefly about this. I'm going to try to get this programmer on the show very soon. This is from PC Gaming. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The idea that Demon Souls and Soulsborne games having not a slider of difficulty, but an AI that allows the game to recognize what the player needs in order to keep the player in the sweet spot that the director of the game wants. Okay? Well, this is a group of people making a game called the Anacrusis, which is a horrible name, from a company called Stray Bombay, co-op sci-fi shooter. Okay? And it's done by a guy at Left 4 Dead. He's in this company. I'm not sure who else is in the company, but I know some of the Left 4 Dead people are here. But what I find the most fascinating about this is he talks about the director AI in Left 4 Dead, which was trying to make it so that it made a good experience for the players based on how they played. Well, they call this Director 2.0. Listen what it says. It says, Director 2.0 is actively considering you and your teammates, building a model of how you perform, both individually and together. As you progress through an episode, it'll use that evolving model to generate a unique set of combat encounters tuned to how you're playing. Okay, I want to read you some of this stuff. This is a great article. The game is extraordinarily different every time, says a guy named Will Smith, different one, of course. The ebb and flow of a level where fights happen, the ebb and flow of a level is different. Where the fights happen is different. Where and what kinds of equipment are distributed. Very little is scripted. It's almost all based on how the director feels you and your team are doing. I managed to catch, this is the writer, some of the specifics the director is tabulating. Levels of friendly fire, numbers of headshots, ratios of damage dealt to damage taken. Beyond that, the devs are keeping his understanding abstract. They enthused about the architecting work by software engineer Amy Ackerman. She's the one I want to have on the show. And we're invested in giving the director as many tools as possible to incentivize and disrupt different kinds of player behavior. By handling the placement of PERT distributing matter compiler stations, I don't know what that is, the director has a great tool to goad players into poking around the map. So the game basically says, you guys aren't exploring enough. We, the game developers, want part of your experience to be exploring. Let's start dropping these things in the map so we will motivate you to explore. By deploying a gooper to trap a player in coagulating glob their friends have to shoot off, the director can encourage some additional cooperation if the cooperation is not currently happening. So it goes on, but it's really, when I talk about the future where AIs are basically working hand in hand with the team to create the experience, my eye is now on this game. Anacrusis is because this is what you want. You want ultimately what you want is, like, if you play a role-playing game, you've got a great dungeon master who on the fly is able to write the story and change the story and respond, which is why role-playing is when you actually role-play it that way, is an incredibly satisfying experience, is because it's like you're really living it. And ultimately what you want this AI to do is become like the world's greatest dungeon master and not just give you a pre-planned experience. You want the experience to be tailored to you at any given moment. So keep an eye on it. It is called it's a terrible title. I can't even say it. I don't remember it. It is called the Anacrusis. Will it work? Will it not work? I don't know. But like I said, I am going to try to have the people on there. The programmer on, if she'll come on. Real quick, Forza, I don't want to talk about Forza so much, but Forza is number 4 in box charts at the UK, blah, 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 which is not unsurprising given that it's, you can get it on Game Pass. But I just wanted to bring this up because you know what's missing from the top 10 this week in the UK? Let me see. Call of Duty Vanguard is number 1, FIFA 2, Animal Crossing 3, Forza is 4, Mario Kart is 5, Jurassic Evolution 2 is 6, Superstars Mario Party Superstars is 7, Minecraft is 8, Shin Megami Tensei 5 is 9, and Guardians is 10. Huh? What's missing, fellas? You goddamn right. You goddamn right. Metroid Dread. You goddamn right. Just wanted to point that out. I don't know. I'm not dancing on the grave of Metroid. I know people love it. I don't want to take people's fun away. I just like pissing on those people because they've been dicks to me. I'm dying to play something new, but I'm waiting for the Black Friday sales. What are you looking forward to, Eddie C? You goddamn right, Jamali. I said the Metroid word. Okay. I am now going. I'm going to put the can up. I want to bring you something. I'm going to give something away. I'm going to give 2 things away. Jill, the assistant, that's her name. Her last name is the assistant. It's so weird that she does executive assisting work. Will be here tomorrow, which means she can go to the UPS store and she will mail out the winners. What I'm about to show you. I will be right back. Literally 10 seconds. I just left him in the other room. 1 second. This is called God of War B is for Boy. It is with bearded Kratos. I won't hold that against you. I have 2 of these. I will be giving these away in just a moment. I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it. There you go. Okay, so 2 of these are going out. If you don't know what these are, they're really fun. They're and I'm happy to sign it and fuck around with it if you want, or give it to you pristine. Totally up to you. But it's kind of like, remember that Samuel Jackson book, like I said, Go the Fuck to Sleep? It's kind of like that, but it's like with Kratos. You can't see this, can you? And whatever. I don't know. Look it up. Here, let me here. I don't want to bend. I don't want to break the spine, so I'm trying to be gentle with it. But it's really good artwork and it's really funny. It's not for little kids. It looks like it's a kid's book, but it's, it's not that. So I'm giving 2 of these away, and I wanna let you know how we're gonna do it, and it's tied into one of our wonderful sponsors, the Leetest podcast, which I will be on. I think it's January 17th, but I will be on the show in the new year. Let me tell you what this is first, and then we're gonna play a little game, which is basically what they do over there. Their podcast is called The Leetest. I'm putting it in the chat right now. It is really cool. You should go check it out. It is it's a podcast about video games, but they play games about games. And I know it's weird, but it's quite cool. So one of the things they did recently, and they actually took data from this very chat on Gabbin' and Games, they did like Family Feud, and it was like, the top 10 weapons in video games, and it was like, okay, we'll pick the top 6 and let's see if your team gets more points than the other team, right? So it was kind of like based on what the survey says, right? Because they surveyed our chat. I want to say they surveyed another, might have been Greg Miller's group, the Kind of Funny People, and they ended up with their survey, right? They have another game they do, and I'm going to have to make these up on the spot because I was going to prepare it and I forgot. But again, go over there, check it out, give at least one episode a listen. I'm almost certain you'll be hooked. It's fun to play along. It's very, very cool. But they have one of the things I like, which is like the movie game smash up, where they take a title. God, I'm going to fuck this up. Are you on here? What is your name on here? Is it Geach? Captain Geach? Captain Geach is one of the runners of this thing. I'm trying to think of a good example. Fuck you, Bukaki. It might sound lame to you, but what you're really saying, Bukaki, is you're not smart enough to play. You're not smart enough to play. Okay? Captain Geach, there he is. That's me. And a lot of guys helped us with the Family Feud episode. It's episode 17. You can timestamp and go right to the games. Okay, so Captain Geach, do you have... if you don't mind, Captain Geach, I'm going to let you... can you call in real quick or no? I would love for you to tell me, to give me what the 2 questions are to give away these books right now. Because I was going to come up with them. Can you call in? I'm waiting to see if he can call in. Otherwise, I'll just do trivia. It's a plot of a movie and a game mixed together. So can you give us an example? And then I'll try to make one up. And after this, by the way, we are going to be talking about, just so you know, we're going to be talking about Phil Spencer going to the press and finally talking about Game Pass sustainability is what we'll talk about. So, the Valley folk, what is that? Okay, so he says 1 second. Okay, in the meantime, while we're getting that together, I want to show you one of our other great sponsors, and after that, we will talk about Game Pass. Here you go. This is while we're waiting for Captain Geach, and we'll do the giveaway, or we'll do it through trivia. We'll figure it out. This is something you should also pay attention to, especially with Christmas coming up. That's the wrong one. Well, I'll just talk to you about it. It's the wrong trailer. I'm sorry, fellas. This, though, what you're looking at is Day One Patch Kids by Rotten Tanuki, one of our great God of War chair members. These are patches, stickers, T-shirts, hoodies, towels, everything you could want with a blend. It's like Garbage Pail Kids meets video game characters. They have some for Kratos. They have some for Sweet Tooth. They have some from, obviously, you're looking at Metroid. You're looking at, what's that game? The hacking game just went by. You're looking at Street Fighter, Gears of War. It's very clever. It's very creative. I hope to God one day Tanuki will make plushies. I would love to have plushies of the Day One Patch Kids. They are fantastic. You will see the link to that, to the store, going up and down in the chat, and I highly recommend you click on over there. Again, if you got gamers in your life that want some gifts, you should check that shit out, man. You should check that shit out. Okay, I'm going to show you... Okay, Captain Geach is here. Captain Geach, are you there, sir?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Good
All
to
right.
talk to you finally.
You as well. I'm looking forward to being on your show. In the meantime, though, do you have a question you could ask these crazy sons of bitches in the chat about whether it's we're asking them to do a movie mashup or just a trivia question, whatever you want, to give away some of these God of War material books?
Sure, I'll give you a question. It's basically...
Okay, wait. So the first person to answer in the chat, and it's my discretion, the first name I see with the proper answer wins. So if and it's got to be the exact title or whatever. It's got to be. It can't be like if it's if the answer is Back to the Future. It can't be that movie, the future movie with Michael J. Fox, right? It's got to be the real goddamn thing. Otherwise, I can't really judge that. So the first one I see, so you can guess as many times as you want, but be aware if you're guessing and you're close, you might be giving it away to somebody else. Okay, I'll shut up. The next time you hear from me will be when I tell you who the winner is of number one. Live chat. Oh, what do you mean turn on live chat? You mean non-member chat? No, I don't think so. All right, here we go. Captain Geach, you're up.
All right, so basically this is the plot of a movie and a game mixed together. So I'm going to give you an example one, an easy mode one. It would be an unlikely hero gets offered a position on a college football team, taking him off the sidelines where he clumsily serves the players performance-altering jelly beans. And that would be the Water Boy and his blob. So it's a movie, it's a game, it's mixed together. So the question I have that you can give to your chat here is, an ex-CIA operative living in Mexico City must battle multiple robot foes to finally reach their creator, an eccentric evil scientist who is holding a young girl for ransom. So you got a movie and a game.
Can you say it again? Can you say it again?
I can. An ex-CIA operative living in Mexico City must battle multiple robot foes to finally reach their creator, an eccentric evil scientist who is holding a young girl for ransom.
Fuck. I like Gravedoll picked radio. Jesus Christ. That's
And I can shoot you the answer on a message.
No. I'm trying to. I want to guess. Well, so Legend says iRobot. That's the name of a movie, but it's got to be a mix.
Yeah, they mash together kind of like the water boy and his blob. So they're gonna clash in the middle. I gave you a little bit of a harder one, but I think CIA, Mexico City, robots, all that should get you to the answer.
All right,
someone should
send me the DM so I can make sure I give it to the right person. Yeah, I don't. Maybe somebody got it, but I need to see what the answer is.
I just DM'd you in Discord.
Okay. Okay. Somebody got it.
There you go.
Jamali got it. Mega Man on Fire. Okay.
Nice.
Jamali, hit me up in the DMs on Discord. I will get all your information. We'll send this out to you tomorrow. Do you have another one on the tip?
I don't at the moment. I got another game called Synonyms, where I give you synonyms of the name of a video game, like Corrupt Ingot, we turned into Twisted Metal, or Remarkable Flaming, we turned into Super Hot, because they're two synonyms, and you can give me the answer. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you?
Right. The thing is, though, I may have used, unless you're going to give me new ones, I may have used those in the last ads. So let me.
Oh, you might have.
let me come up with one. Then give me a second. We're going to give away one more. Okay. Let me think.
I have faith that you can do it. I don't get to catch all your streams because I kind of listen to you while I'm working usually, so I don't get to interact with the chat as much as I'd like to. So I didn't know you did that already. That's awesome.
Hey, hang on, fella. Now you're like, Jesus, Jaffe. Nice show, nice show planning, you fuck. Hang on, give me a second. Okay. This is kind of a tricky one, but it works. Okay. An archaeologist races against the Nazis to collect a supernatural artifact while riding giant dinosaurs and crafting weapons.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know you were going to toss me in here so fast. We have a ton of these, but we use them all in the show.
Gotcha. All right, let's see if anybody gets it. Oh, no, it's not dead air. Can't you hear me? You guys can hear me. Okay. An archaeologist races against the Nazis to collect supernatural artifacts while riding giant dinosaurs and crafting weapons. Come on now. Mutimo, it's got to be an actual title, though. It's got to be two titles mashed up. You guys are nibbling around the edges. You're not quite getting it yet. You guys are close, though. Hey, fuck you, Jamali. I'm reading the chat. Come on now. Turok Jones. No, that's pretty good, though. There's no movie called Indiana Jones, though. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be a movie title mashed with... Okay, Dane Barnes gets it. Indiana Jones. No. Okay, Chongo gets it, actually. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark Survival, because the title wasn't Indiana Jones and the Last Ark Survival Evolved. Isn't the game called Ark? It's not called Last Ark, is it?
Ark Survival Evolved, I think.
Right, so it would be Raiders of the Lost Ark Survival. So Chongo gets it. Send me a DM and I will hook you up with some prizes or with this book. So I love stuff like this. I'm looking forward to coming on your show. I think it's going to be great. I hope you guys get over to the Leetest podcast. Give these guys a listen. I will put up your... and you guys do game discussions and then you do the games, or is the whole show games?
It's like centered on games, but yeah, we do BS about stuff. But we like turn the news into a game where we fill in the news headlines with blanks, and then we have like trivia, and we have games like the Family Feud, which, like I said, thanks to your community so much for helping us so much with that. We got tons of responses to that to help me make that game, which is awesome. So we have like Family Feud questions, like what's the first game that pops into your head when you see the PlayStation 1 boot up screen, and then we got the Family Feud answers. I made like a reject Family Feud theme song and stuff.
Was it Crash Bandicoot?
It was on there. I don't think it was number 1 though.
What was number 1? Do you remember?
What was it?
Ridge Racer, or Jumping Flash?
Twisted Metal was on there.
You goddamn right. Goddamn right.
I think number 1 might have been Final Fantasy VII. I'd have to.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
All right.
Episode 17.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting on. Geach, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the help, buddy.
I appreciate it, Jackie.
All right,
thanks.
All right, fellas. By the way, Jamali. I don't think you need to send me a friend request. Just send me a DM. But we'll get hooked up. I'll find you over on the Discord. Okay. Let me take a sip of the bubbly, and we will move on to talking about some Phil Spencer news, which is really interesting to me because, hang on a minute. Okay. Where'd it go? There we go. So this is an article with Lil Steven Totillo where he's talking to Phil Spencer. This was really interesting to me because a lot of people have been saying, where is my data on Game Pass? People seem very, and it's odd, they tend to be PlayStation fans. They seem very concerned about the sustainability of Game Pass, right? It's like they're not concerned. They just don't want it to work. It's writing's on the fucking wall. Not all of them, but the vast majority, okay? So this is what Spencer says about Game Pass to Totillo. He says, I know there's a lot of people that like to write, quote, we're burning cash right now for some future pot of gold at the end. No, says Phil Spencer, Game Pass is very, very sustainable right now as it sits and continues to grow. And then Totillo says, so the people who are saying it's not sustainable, you're basically just saying that they're wrong. In fact, he says, are the people who say it's not sustainable in order to basically get you the money back that you'd otherwise get for, say, selling Starfield just for $60? The people who say that it's not sustainable or cost effective, they're wrong. And Phil Spencer says, yeah. He says, I mean, you could do the math on Game Pass. I guess you don't know how many subs or how much each sub is paying, but you can make some fairly informed decisions and literally just do the math on what we think Game Pass could eventually be. You could do that on any part of the business, but absolutely Game Pass is sustainable. And then so that should be, within reason, that should be the end of the conversation. So Zaf says Sean Layden said it wasn't. Well, Sean Layden's not there. Sean Layden's not running that business division. Phil Spencer is. But then what's fascinating about it is that if you go into any of these forums or on Twitter, it's like here we are on NeoGAF. Okay, well then put the full info in a quarterly report. Of course it's sustainable. They're a $2 trillion company. BS, they are not releasing the figures. Of course he would say this like any other PR talking head. It's like, what will it take? Do you need to go out to Seattle and literally look at the fucking books? Like, what do you care? Why does it matter so much to some of these people that they're just obsessed with proving that this thing won't work? But then when you actually have an executive addressing it, they won't take it. It's like, we're only going to accept this if you tell us what we already want to hear. And I think really that's the part of the story that fascinates me is the fact that it's not really just say you don't like Game Pass, say you don't like Microsoft. That's fine. I would at least respect you more. Zaf says Sean Layden would have an idea what something like that would cost. Spencer's response is very bland and uninformative. It's a binary response. Well, he's basically telling you do the math, right? So if Game Pass Ultimate is $15 a month and you can have these deals where you get Game Pass for $1 a month, and then there's also some other deals where it's $5 $5. Just kind of go, okay, on average it's $6. Let's say $6, and roughly you can take some of the numbers that have come out and say there's about 24 million subscribers. And let's just take the 15 off the table and the 1 off the table. 26 million subscribers times 6 is 26, 130. Am I doing this right? 136, 26, 26. No, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. $160 million. Is that right? $160 million a month? Come on. I mean, right? And that's on the low end. So I don't know why what he's saying is bland and not informed. Jafty, after you're done with this topic, you should Google Streamlabs. Why? Because the lawsuit making them change their name. But yeah, I don't. If he's lying, says Green Monkey, his ass would be sued to oblivion and beyond. That's not a bad point. That's actually a really good point, because he is speaking. You know what? I think you're right. Because I was going to say maybe you have to be speaking in an earnings call for the FEC to come in and say you're lying. But if you guys remember when Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan and he said some shit, he got sued and had to pay a lot of money to the government because he was affecting the stock price without proper data or something. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So he couldn't be lying. You have to take into account licensing deals through which fluctuate in costs. But I guess the question, though, is Zaf says you have to take into account licensing deals. Sure, but like which ones? They're not all license-based deals for those games. Like Psychonauts doesn't have that. Halo doesn't have that. It's not that anything he says could be used against him. It's that it could affect the stock price. Just like Bobby Kotick is being investigated because he didn't share with the stockholders all the sexual harassment claims and toxicity claims. And now a bunch of people are saying, you didn't let us know that, and you weren't being true to the state of the company that you were asking us to give you money for. So it's actually a pretty serious violation. So Legend says 200 million in subs, 50 games, 4 million per game for a game company each month. 200 million in subs. You're saying they're making 200 million a month, basically. You have to take into account licensing deals through which they fluctuate due to multiple factors. Profit versus revenue. You're just, yeah, sure, but you think he doesn't know that? I'm less concerned about arguing whether or not Game Pass is sustainable, and I'm more interested in having the conversation about why it is that it's like, what is it going to take for people to just go, that's a valid thing that Microsoft is doing. I don't like it. I don't necessarily want Sony to do it. I don't want to see the industry go that way. But it's almost like people are grasping at straws. It's like, you know, what does it take for you to trust an executive that gives you facts and figures? I just don't understand. All right, let me bring in Scratch and Mercenary real fast. Scratch, and it's Jaffe. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
It is good.
I appreciate you streaming a little early this time. I'm East Coast, so
I am trying to get earlier every single time. I'll try on Friday as well.
All good.
Good to have you, sir.
Thank you. I've been dying to talk about this Game Pass. I'm of the mindset where I have everything, so I don't really mind.
Same here. Yeah.
I love Game Pass. I believe in it. And at this point, I just think nothing's going to change anyone's mind. And because, like, Phil Spencer, he's the CEO. What doesn't make sense is, like, he knows this. I don't get how you're denying someone who's the CEO who has all the information, you're just gonna say he's lying? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well,
that never,
and the guy in the chat who brought up that he could get sued for it, I had never thought of that. That's a great point. If you're a spokesperson for a company that's a public company, and you go out there and lie about the business earnings or the business situation or where it is at any given moment, and you're lying, that's a FEC violation.
Yeah, like you guys said, the Elon Musk thing.
Yep.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that. So, I don't really get it. I think I just like how Xbox. I grew up with the 360, and then the Xbox One really disappointed me, so I switched over to PlayStation.
Right.
So I really like how Xbox is getting back onto things. I really enjoy Game Pass because finally it has this is a competitor to me, at least.
I agree.
Like what Game Pass is gonna grow into. I think definitely. I think in 2022 I'm very excited about what Game Pass is gonna offer in 2022. Even though Xbox doesn't have that many first party I'm talking the real first party studios.
Right.
Not Bethesda, yes, they have Bethesda, but it's kind of like, but they are a part of them, but they're not. But I'm excited for Replaced, that indie game that looks cool. So I think Game Pass I'm very excited for 2022 Game Pass. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I don't think anything's gonna switch. I don't think if you hate Game Pass, you're gonna hate Game Pass. If you like Game Pass, you're gonna like it. I just want to know with Game Pass how they're going to get more PC players to subscribe. I would want to know the statistics of that specifically.
Right.
Because
go ahead.
Because that was the only thing I disagreed with Sean Layden back a couple months ago when he said Game Pass wasn't sustainable, because I think he was only factoring in console Game Pass. PC is...
Yeah.
Was he? Or,
well, I don't know. I think the gist of what he was saying is games are costing, at least if you're looking at the Sony numbers, around $200 million for a AAA. And he's going, how in the world can we put that out and launch that day one on a Game Pass? And in general, it's not sustainable, blah, blah, blah. I read that and I'm like, okay, that's his opinion. I have to assume the people at Microsoft... Again, I mean, there's a lot of things. The funniest part about it is there's a lot of things people at companies do that don't work. Microsoft has had a lot of failures, but none of them weren't with them running a business model and going, we think this works and is sustainable. So, to me, it's just, I will agree with you about the competition part. I was thinking this morning, I was thinking about how much I was enjoying playing Halo, and then I was thinking about how much I was enjoying streaming it, playing it on my PC, playing Horizon last week, and going, holy shit, have I become an Xbox fanboy? I've never been an Xbox fanboy. And then, and then I thought about it, and I was like, no, because I'm super excited actually for the first half of 2022 is all PS5. They've got Forbidden West, they've got God of War, we assume. I don't give a fuck about Gran Turismo, but I appreciate a lot of people do. It's not that I became an Xbox fanboy. It's exactly what you're saying. It's that it's really cool to have this kind of competition, especially when both services offer something radically different from one another. Because I own both, I'm able to it was the coolest thing to be able to just, almost any device in my house, I can play Halo on. But it's also cool that, I get to play Ghost Tsushima, the Director's Edition or the Enhanced Edition on my PS5, and there's nothing like that on Xbox. So I think a lot of it is, if you have both, you are going to benefit from it because they're very different and they're both really good.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, especially when PlayStation 4 was getting all those exclusives, I was like, what is Xbox doing?
No,
I'm like, all right, Xbox, you got to do what PlayStation is doing. But then, as soon as Game Pass started rolling out more games, more of these smaller games, I was like, I like what Xbox is doing because they're not doing exactly what Sony is doing. And what people, I feel like they get it, they don't know the road they're going on. If Xbox does the same thing as Sony, which is big single-player games, Like, what's the point? What's the point? They, first of all, they can't keep up with Sony, and second of all, you're getting the same thing. You want something different,
right? And Microsoft has said that they want to make games like that as well. But I think more of it is people who don't have both systems, and I appreciate that. But even that, though, if let's say you've gone all in with PlayStation, which is totally fine, wonderful, it's a great system, it's wonderful, but you don't even have to buy a fucking Xbox. It's like you have to be very specific. You have to be either you don't have a PC, so you can't play on Game Pass. You don't have an Xbox, so you can't play on Game Pass. And you have really shitty internet, so you can't stream on your phone, your TV, an Xbox One, which will cost you $35 to buy these days. You could literally just subscribe to Xbox Game Pass for a month and play some great games and unsubscribe. So I don't even understand that argument as much as I used to, where it's like, well, yeah, but you can only afford one, and so of course you hate the other because it's psychology. Now it's like most people can have both.
It's definitely. I think Xbox. This is going to be big for Xbox.
I think
I
so
could be
too.
wrong because Game Pass to me, and you said it, which I agree with you on. I think Game Pass lives and dies by first party studios, but Xbox has really got to just put out more solid first party games. Like, to me personally, I'm more excited. I don't know why. I'm very excited for Perfect Dark. I want to see what that's going to end up like. I don't know. I like the announcement trailer. It could have been better, but for some reason I have a lot of faith in that game. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that, but I don't know. Because Xbox first-party studios.
I would have disagreed with you for a while, but now that they've brought on the Crystal guys who make Tomb Raider to pretty much, I'm going to say it, they haven't said it, but to pretty much make the game, you know they're going to ship something pretty fucking cool. Whether it's it can go toe-to-toe with Uncharted, yeah, who knows, but. I'm excited. Let me ask you one more question. I don't know if you're looking at your screen right now, but it also was announced yesterday that Elder Scrolls 6 is only going to be Xbox and PC. They've come out and said, yeah, just like with Starfield, we're not putting this on PlayStation or obviously Switch. I've always wondered maybe they should, but if you sell it for $70 on the other systems, then people are going to be like, it makes Game Pass look better. But I mean, if I was running Microsoft, I wouldn't think this is a bad call, but a lot of gamers are upset about this. And I'm like, well, you don't expect, God of War Ragnarok to be on Xbox. Why would you expect Elder Scrolls to be on, and they're like, well, yes, but it's a legacy game. It's not new. It's like, nobody cares. It doesn't matter. I mean, I understand that, but.
That is old-fashioned hypocrisy, man. That's just hypocritical. If you're complaining about Elder Scrolls 6 being exclusive, you're just a hypocrite. There's no way of saying that. Like, there's no other way of saying that.
Right. I agree.
Right.
All right, Scratch. Yeah, thanks for calling, man. Good to talk to you. Call back anytime.
Yeah. Peace.
See you soon. All right, there goes Scratch off into the evening. Legend says, Game Pass will live or die on subscriptions, just like Netflix, Disney. Of course, absolutely. And that is the thing. People are talking about that like it's, people are like, well, I'll subscribe and get rid of it after a month. Great. That is absolutely what, that's how it works, right? I mean, the reason Netflix and HBO Max and all these companies are consistently having to put out, new good content, or at least attempt at good content, is so you don't churn. And that's why I'm so excited that Xbox has 23 studios, not to mention all these indie games and sometimes third-party games dropping day one. Because as a consumer, every month, actually every week, but every month you're going to be getting, a decent-sized first-party game once they get rolling. That's pretty fucking cool, man. That's never happened before. Zaf says, I'm interested to see Perfect Dark. I am now. Indiana Jones, I'm very interested to see that. And Starfield, if they're good. I will buy an Xbox then. Right now, they give me no reason. That's fair. Zaf, you have a PC, though, right? I mean, you have a way to stream Game Pass? And maybe even if you have a PC, you could download it. You don't have to stream it. streaming on Game Pass or any of these things is terrible if you don't have decent internet and or are close enough to the servers. I happen to be fortunate. I have decent internet, and I guess I'm close to the servers, so mine is great. That's right, Jamali, I'm with you. Subscribe for a month for a new game and then unsubscribe. I did that with Ubisoft last year. I did it for Far Cry 5 because I hadn't played it. I did it for that Clash of the Titans Phoenix Rising game, and they had one other new game last year. It's exactly how I did it, and it was very cost effective, and it was great. Moving on very quickly, let's get some quick hits here. Halo Infinite, which I love. We will try to get a big game going tonight. We'll talk about that at the end of the stream. Looking at a beta pass progression changing. If you're playing Halo and you have the battle pass, you know that it's really slow going. That sucks. They're looking at changing it. That's great. Grave says, I'm actively pushing an Xbox Series S on a good pal. He doesn't have decent enough internet. Got it. Okay, cool. This, I will tell you, is interesting. I saw this article where crossplay is in Halo, but it doesn't differentiate between, unless you're playing the competitive level, between PC, keyboard, mouse, and controller. And so I was like, okay, cool. Well, let me try it with keyboard. Holy fuck, fellas. I know it's obvious, but it's night and fucking day. I've never been the top scorer in an FPS, certainly not in a Halo game. So I definitely agree that it's unfair. Like, I think it's bullshit that if you have a great player like Spaz or Grave Doll or Dane Barnes, who's a fucking insane player, and you're fucking playing this with a mouse and keyboard, why even step into the arena? I mean, I'm literally driving a fucking Warthog, jumping it the other night, and Dane Barnes just headshots me in the middle of the fucking air in a car. I'm just like, fuck you, motherfucker. Bukaki, I agree though. When it comes to the when it comes to the XP, yeah, you should get XP for each game in for winning as well. That's right. Grave says more XP is on the way. There will be a daily win a match XP challenges. Yeah, I hope they do more of that. I mean, or even just increase the increase the XP that you do get. But it's really shitty that it's like, okay, win a game and capture the flag, but you have no control over if capture the flag comes up in the queue, right? It's shit like that is not good. Dane Barnes says the controller is where it's at with Halo. I'm looking forward to fighting you tonight, sir, and we will find out. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Whatever. We'll talk about that later. Let me see what I got. We'll talk about that later. That's it. That's Gabbing and Games, folks. Hang on. Let's talk for a minute. That was what the kids like to call a show and a half. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed hanging out. I appreciate it. New members, welcome. Super chats, thank you. Longtime members and longtime lurkers and people just watching, thanks for hanging in there and watching the show and contributing to the show. Thank you to the callers. Awesome. Okay, here's what we're doing. I am going to put this out in podcast form for the next couple hours it'll take me, and then I will be on the Discord setting up that Halo game for tonight. So hopefully if you guys want to play with us, members get first seating, and then anyone who is available, jump on in. It'll be a lot of fun. I'll see you guys a little bit later. Let me see something real quick. So so Chongo has sent me his address. I will have Jill send out the book tomorrow. Let me know if you want it signed or just fucked around with. I've done it with people who've gotten it. Or if you just want it pristine, that's great too. The other guy, who was it? Jamali, I'll accept your friend request right when I get off the stream. Thank you to the mods. Thank you for Bukaki and Rob the Mod and RPG. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys tonight on, and Rathy, I think you got your Xbox. We'll see you tonight playing as well. Legend says, as long as I have my electrical power, I can pop in games and play. Digital, you have to rely on Microsoft. Yeah, I mean, I understand. I will show you this real quick. I will. I just love it so much. I want to see. In fact, okay, that's the show. Thank you for hanging out. Love it. Welcome, everybody. If you want to hang out with me for 5 minutes, I want to try to stream. I'm going to keep the stream going. I want to see what it is like if I stream xCloud while I am also playing Halo streaming to me. I think it'll be a clusterfuck. I don't think that's going to work at all, but I am curious. And so if you want to see what that feels like, here we go. 1 second, let me just get all set up. But yeah, even last night, I'm going to have to hook up my Xbox Series S to my keyboard and mouse because my PC's good, but it's not good enough to stream and have it on the PC. But it might be good enough to have it streaming to the PC. May not. Let's see. All right, playonxbox.com. I'm not really looking for feedback other than, like, is it a nightmare? I just want to see how it plays. Like, I want to see how the actual thing, you know, how it actually controls. Okay, so let's go to... Oh, I got to sign in. Hang on. Okay. Let's get in a private game. Yeah, Spazbo, cool. If you set up a private game, we'll test it out real quick. All right, so this... Chongo, hey, of course, thanks for being a member for all this time. Chongo, I appreciate it, buddy. I wonder when the... I thought it was going to be a year and you get the really cool avatar. But maybe it's like 18 months or something. That's... What am I looking at? Yeah, you're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, that's something different. Okay. Okay. So this is xCloud, which it's the coolest thing. I mean, just being able to... It's just... I know you love owning your games. I appreciate that. But I just love just being able to go, oh, I want to play this. I want to play this. Oh, this is new. I want to play this. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Okay. Video card RAM, dude, I have no idea. I'll tell you afterwards. Or I can... I mean, how can I find that out? And I'll tell you right now. Where do I go to find that out? Xbox Game Studios presents... Blah, 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 blah. Like, where do I go to... I assume I go to Windows, and then I go down to the magnifying glass, and I type in something. Okay. Press A to play. Oh, what? Why is it making me use my controller? Well, it doesn't matter. For this, we can do that. But maybe I can tell it I want the keyboard. Okay. Okay. Start icon my PC. DXDIAG in the search bar? Really? Okay. This? And then open and run DXDIAG? All right, let's see what we got. This tool, okay, select okay. I'm doing it now, fellas. Run command. Okay, here we go. These are my specs. So 4 megs RAM. Is that what you need? People are like, why are you quiet? I'm assuming Spaz and Brian are looking at my thing. I know this is not my world, so you tell me what I've got. Is that decent? I don't know. It was decent when I bought the computer. But anyway, there you go. Let's play the game. Let's see how it plays, regardless. Okay, let's go to Halo. Okay. All right. All right, 1 sec, Spaz. Let me just get this set up. And it's going to sync my data. Where's settings? Oh. Hang on. Yeah, it's not letting me play. Okay, we'll just play with the controller for now. It's fine. Okay. Multiplayer, Spaz, do you want to invite me? We'll see how this works. Yeah, well, yeah, it probably will be terrible because if you want to see how this works, just me streaming on my own, there's a video up on the channel a couple of days ago where I record it where I'm not streaming, and it's a great experience. But I just wonder, can I actually stream down to me and upload the stream? Fuck it. Well, Spaz, you gonna send me an invite? Otherwise, I'm just gonna hit quick play for now. I just want to test it. We'll play tonight. It may crash. Yeah, if we crash out. Oh shit. Okay, Spaz invited me. All right. Nick of time, baby. Okay. All right, I'm in your party. Let's go whenever you're ready. I'll bring Spaz onto the chat, onto the audio real quick. Okay. Okay. You guys.
I've really been enjoying Halo lately, man.
Halo is awesome. It is so much fun.
So good. Oh, is that Jeff? Hey, Jeffy.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know you were in here.
Oh, you goddamn right.
Thought you were doing the stream still.
No, well, this is streaming. I'm testing out. I'm testing out streaming Halo with xCloud while actually streaming it out to people watching. I just want to see how chunky it is.
Nice.
It's probably.
Yeah, I had gone for a second. I went and got some Chinese food for dinner. Chinese
I
food.
was able to see what CPU you have and your normal RAM. I wasn't able to see your graphics card RAM.
Oh, I'll check. We'll find out. But again, would that even matter because I'm streaming it? I'm not streaming it from my hardware. I'm downloading it like Netflix from the cloud. And
well, right now, when you were streaming it yesterday,
that was coming off my PC That was coming off my PC hardware.
Yeah, it's
This is not.
CPU is a bit old.
Yeah, but would that matter? That would matter because streaming up and down. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm not actually streaming off my hardware like I was last night. This is streaming off the servers.
Just from when you were.
Right now, I was just trying to test how reliable his internet is under both streaming and streaming.
Right.
I like pizza.
You do.
But you got Chinese food, bud.
I like
You're
turtle.
in a pickle now.
I usually, whenever somebody starts talking about things that I don't really care about, I start to say random shit.
You know what's great is if you are playing on keyboard, even picking up weapons off the wall is faster on keyboard.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I've been crazy using that keyboard.
You just touch the E key and you got it. I'll tell you what, this is horseshit. It is so much better playing on a fucking on a keyboard.
Oh yeah.
Damn, I'm gonna have to bring my Xbox downstairs and plug in the keyboard and mouse then.
Yeah, because I mean, I can't even get this guy. I can't even line this guy up.
Let me
there is
join in y'all's fire team.
When I played on xCloud, there is a bit of added delay to looking around.
Usually there is with shooters, because that's like that for me too. Alright, I'm in Jaffy's fire team.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, buddy. I actually changed my clan name to Jaffy's, so we're all the Jaffies.
This is what all the kids want to be for Halloween.
Yeah, we're all the.
How is the stream?
Jaffies
How is
from-
the stream looking, you guys? Is it streaming okay?
Let me see.
It looks fine.
Yeah, it looks fine.
I'm not constantly looking at it, so I wouldn't be able to tell.
I'm looking at it.
Things.
Is the maximum usually 720p on YouTube? Or
I
1080?
I don't know. I think it's people have
That's
accused.
usually where you want to
The
go.
last couple of times I have noticed
Okay.
You've noticed what?
the resolution of the stream was 720p.
Spanker available. Grab the equipment.
This game is
I jumped into your game.
so good.
Oh, dude, it's. I was talking with a buddy of mine who doesn't like playing Halo at all, and he's like, "I've been watching people play it, and I want to give it a try."
Yeah. So if you're watching this in the stream, and again, you need to be close to you need to be close to a server and have not amazing internet, just decent internet.
Acquired.
There's a you can get Game Pass for a month and cancel the fucking thing. But just don't deny yourself some really good games just for I don't know why you would.
Got to me late Spaz.
I love that popsicle colored fucking armor. It's so good.
I can't wait to unlock something else though. I mean, like a skull helmet or something like they didn't reach.
Samurai outfit.
Yeah.
Fucking flames. That's
Because
Oh,
you know
yeah.
that they,
Silly,
you know the
but it's amazing.
customizations are going to be crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the samurai
They have to
outfit's
be.
awesome. Although the battle pass customizations are like eh. Like
Yeah,
I got this stupid little thing for my helmet for getting level 2, and I'm like, really? That's what I get?
Yeah. Well, that was the visor, right?
The little visor piece of
Yeah.
metal, or I'm like, what the fuck am
Little
I?
golden visor.
It wasn't even golden.
Oh, I got a gold visor.
You fucker.
That wasn't even with Battle Pass. I
Legends.
was unlocking challenges though. You unlock challenges, you get more stuff.
I don't stream 1080p Legends. Do I need to? I mean, can I?
It looks like normal. I'm watching it right now. It looks like it normally does.
If you weren't like doing this xCloud thing, you have good enough internet to stream 1080p.
Okay,
But your PC might not be good for it.
I got
See,
it.
I am lagging a tad bit though, more than normal.
Are you playing on xCloud?
I'm playing. I was assuming it was on. Since I'm in your game, maybe it's your internet or something.
I'm not the. I'm not the. I'm not hosting.
Jeffy.
I wonder who it is then. Whose game am I in?
Well, there's,
You're the-
but it's server based. There's no. It's not peer to peer. It wouldn't matter, would it?
Okay, then it's just me then. Which makes sense because I've been having problems. They've been rebuilding the grid since the hurricane.
Got it.
That's up.
People still don't have Spectrum. It's been 2.5 months.
God damn.
That's rough. That sucks.
Damn.
Yeah, I switched to AT&T because they're the only people providing right now. And I needed to work or else I wouldn't be able to make a living.
No, that's good. You were able to find a solution, man.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm very happy with them too. Their download speed's a lot faster. At like 1,000 gig cap.
I wish I had gigabit internet.
Oh, Jaffe. We fought to the death. That was a good fight, sir.
It was good. It was good.
It was a good fight. I just knocked you in the face.
I was gonna make a video last night of impressions, but I'm actually still struggling to articulate because it's not like I've never played Halo. I've played Halo 1 and 2, and I played one of them on 360, and then I was kind of done, and it's always been fine. But there's something about this one that I actually really find myself addicted to, and I can't put my finger on it yet.
You could always download the Master Chief Collection and do a comparison.
I think I will. Oh shit! Fuck
Oh,
me.
yeah.
I tried playing Halo 3 not too long ago.
The Master
It just
Chief
felt
Collection.
So slow. So slow.
It's
And-
because games have gotten faster over the
It's true.
years.
It's true.
You know, Halo 3, when it came out, like, people were still used to playing, like, super slow-styled FPS games, like,
Black.
yeah. Oh, dude, Black was so good. You remember Black?
Yeah. Well, I got
that
my
was
dad
good.
an Xbox Series S, and one of the first games I got from Game Pass was Black, because I knew he would love it.
Yeah. Also, the multiplayer maps are, have evolved, too, so it might just be the maps, too. Also, Jeff.
One thing you could do, Jaffe, to make this.
Where the fuck did you go?
If you are streaming a game off your PC.
Sorry, say it again. Say it again.
One thing you can do to help with the stream for like when you're playing a PC only game.
Right.
Is you like what I did? I bought a secondary PC. Like it's not as high spec or anything, but it's good enough to stream footage from a capture card.
It's a good idea.
And you could do that, so you wouldn't actually have to worry about the game performance impacting the stream.
Right. Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it takes all the burden off your machine, so it can go.
That is very good, actually. Yeah.
In the interim, right?
Yeah.
Drop like what, 500 American?
God damn it! I'm killing my own.
You can get a CyberPower PC from Best Buy for like $600. It streams really good too. I had one before I got this PC. That's what I played a lot of my stuff on, or what I created a lot of mods and stuff on.
Yeah, Legends. I hear you. That's a good idea, actually. All right, I gotta stay alive though.
Not gonna happen, buddy.
Oh well, wait and see, bitch.
Are you guys playing
I
Halo?
can't wait to play with you guys later.
You're not gonna live long, Jaffe.
Wait till I get my fucking keyboard.
Your keyboard has nothing on my samurai hands.
Gross.
They're only gross when women look at them.
You want to touch me with those? Oh God! Are you a monkey?
Yeah.
Mario Chief, how did you kill me so quickly?
Who was it? Who did I get?
Mario
That was
Chief
Mario Chief.
is a goddamn savant. I'm telling you.
Mario Chief he's good at this, man. I am very open that I suck at multiplayer games, but I still enjoy the hell out of them.
He knows where all the good weapons are.
Like Mortal Kombat, I suck at it, but I love playing it.
Better luck next time.
No, I don't want that. Yeah, I do for now. This game makes me want wall run, or this map makes me want wall run.
Yeah, I really would
I
like
tried
that.
to wall run instinctively a couple times, thinking this is Titanfall. Alright, gents, I'm gonna take off. I will play with you guys.
All right, we'll see you later, man. Thanks, buddy.
See you, bud.
Gotcha, Mario Chief. Suck it, nerd.
Hey.
Dang it, I missed the stream.
What the fuck was that? Oh, the fucking needler? Fuck you, bitch.
That was the needler, baby.
Fuck
the needler
you.
explodes when you shot enough
I
rounds
don't
inside.
like the fact that you guys are now ahead by a point. Come on, Dayton Barnes. Let's fucking get our shit together.
Did you remember to take your arthritis medicine today?
You know what? Do me,
Seriously, just steal that from me.
do me a favor though. Seriously, Rob, do me a favor. Are you still there? Would you?
Maybe.
Would you? No, seriously. Let your mom know she left her dentures over here last night.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Is that you? I will let her know that, but I'm sure she didn't have a good time.
I'm sure she didn't either. I've never seen a vagina so fucking floppy in my life.
Oh,
I thought I was fucking a Muppet.
Oh my god.
But again,
I mean,
but,
she
but
had 8 children.
and her check did her check cleared, man. So that's all that matters.
she did have 8 children, so I mean, it makes sense.
That's true.
Love your mom, but honest, dude, it's the best policy.
I mean, her vagina had an echo.
Oh.
It was like,
I have images in my head, and I'm gonna throw up. I'm coming after you now, Jaffe.
good luck with
Coming
that.
after you.
No, you fucker! Oh, you fuck stick. Oh,
You gotta pay attention to that radar.
I know. I never do. I never fucking do.
What the fuck was that, Mario Chief coming at me now? Yeah, I got you, Mario Chief.
You bitches wait till I get myself a keyboard.
Oh, is your keyboard still jacked up?
No, but I can't play it.
X-
xCloud doesn't let you play keyboard for some weird reason.
Ah, that's gross.
Yeah.
Why? What's the point of that restriction?
It may just not be ready yet. I don't know.
Is there a separate build that they did for xCloud? That's weird.
It is weird. It's really annoying, but I don't know why.
That must cost a lot of money to have separate builds for different things, though. It's unnecessary.
Oh wait, we're in overtime. Oh shit.
I have to kill Jaffe one last time.
I guess this game really doesn't want us to tie.
Fuck!
Fuck! Fuck is that? Damn it! We took each other out, Mario.
Wait for backup.
We took each other out.
Taking damage.
Oh, I dropped into a pile of fruit. That was awesome.
Gotta dodge these rockets.
Oh, I didn't
There we
get
go.
anybody with the rockets.
That was for my mother's flappy vagina.
Feet, you know? You aim at her feet, otherwise we're gonna dodge it.
You did what?
You gotta aim at the feet.
Aim at her feet. So we don't, like, jump over it.
Don't give him
We can
tips.
still jump over it, but the blast radius could still get us. At least that's how I play with the rocket.
Mario keep over here like doing the long scopes and shit. I got you, home.
Did some damage.
Oh shit. Did you throw a grenade, Jeffy? What the?
What? Of course I threw a grenade. What do you mean?
Hey, boy. Come here.
Taking damage.
She sounds so upset. Taking damage.
Gotcha.
Power items incoming.
I need to get Jaffe. I need to avenge my mother.
You want to avenge your mother? Why don't you like build a condo inside her pussy? Start
son of a
charging rent for it and shit. I mean, it's spacious.
You know what I always wanted to do?
I have seen
always
smaller
wanted to build a
I have
tiny
seen
house.
smaller apartments than your mother's vagina.
You motherfucker! I knew you were gonna do it.
I did last night.
You did this. Who the hell was that?
You could have saw what I did to you. I grappled onto you and just...
It's hard. It's
Can
hard.
people hear us on stream, Jeffy, or is it just you?
I think they can hear you.
You gonna run away, boy?
Well, you wait till tonight when I get my fucking.
Gotcha! Haha! Sucking nerd!
Dane's like, you're a liability, Jeff. You're writing checks your body can't cash. And he's not wrong. I can't play with this fucking controller.
Fuck.
Spike obtained.
What controller are you using? Is it just regular Xbox?
A regular one, but I can't aim that well. So think about this again, man. That whole game was played and streamed.
That was great.
That's amazing to me. That's amazing to me that I can play a fucking.
Browser, right?
What's
maybe
that?
The Game Pass app. Maybe the Game Pass computer app supports keyboard.
I was playing Bebo Pinata on xCloud. It was a lot. I was having a great time. No lag or anything.
That shit's nuts. All right, fellas, that's it. I'll get with you guys in a little bit. Let's figure out when we can play tonight.
Cool.
All right, I'll see you guys later, everybody.